Hello, I'm Áron, this is the Behind the Books, and here is Esther Safran Foer, writer and a former executive director of Six and Eyes Synagogue in Washington, D.C. with us. Your memoir, I Want You to Know We Are Still Here, the Hungarian title is Még itt vagyunk, has just appeared in Hungarian, the publisher Vince, in the translation of Galvölgyi Judit. This is the story of an amazing investigation as you trace the history of your family. How long did the investigation take, and what point did you decide to write a book about it?
Well, it's kind of been a lifetime investigation. You know, I'm the family historian. I would ask questions. I have found scraps of notes from years ago and just put them aside. And then finally, I decided I had to go deeper into the story. And in that process, I became a detective on the internet. I hired researchers in Ukraine who would go in and make sure that I was meeting the right people when I was there. And I even hired a former FBI agent to look at pictures to tell me if I was on the right track. And then at some point, I decided it was time to really put that into a book, to do that initially for my grandchildren and their children so that they would know where they came from. And then I got very lucky, and there was a publisher that was interested in publishing it.
And what was the reaction of the people around you to it, especially your sons, who had become writers and journalists before you?
They were very supportive, also very gentle with the writing of their mother. I mean, I was really intimidated writing a book after all three of them had written bestsellers, but they were very supportive and I think very proud. And the morning that my book was supposed to be released, March 2020, which was in the middle of the pandemic, and my European media tour and my US media tour were canceled, my grandchildren surprised me with a video telling me that they knew that I was probably disappointed, but telling me how proud they were that I had done the book and told the story.
And you state in the book that when your mother first mentioned the first wife and the little daughter of your father, nobody knew this amount of information would come into light eventually. It must have seemed impossible at some stage of your research. Can you tell us if there were times when you almost gave up, and how did you get through them?
It seemed totally impossible. I never thought that I would find the information that I found, but there was an opportunity to go to Ukraine in 2009 to join a delegation from other parts of the world who were going as a group of former Trochen brothers, the shuttle my father came from. So that was just the right time to go. And then I planned the rest of my investigation around that trip. I never expected to find what I found. So there wasn't really giving up. There was only the joy of finding the truth.
And you have spent your life working for the Jewish community. What would you say to the Hungarian Jewish communities? Do you have any advice you would like to give them?
My advice, having written a book and found it so fulfilling and liberating, is to tell your story. It's a story that needs to be told, whatever your family history is. These stories need to be preserved. This is who we are. We're storytellers. Our Bible is a story, if you will, and we need to continue to tell our story.
And one last question. Are you planning to ever write another book?
So having done this once, the answer is maybe. I am thinking about it, but maybe. And I'll be back.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, and have a nice stay in Budapest.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching us, and stay with us. See you.